Okay, take two. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm going to start again, shall I? Good evening. Welcome to You Create Art at Home. My name is Bess, and hopefully you can hear me this time, because one of the things that you need to do is turn your microphone on. Otherwise, it turns out people can't hear you. So who knew that that was something you needed to do? Actually, I am blown away by what I'm learning at the moment, the technology I'm learning, the outside of having to teach you guys how to paint, honestly, it's a whole fathom of things I'm learning. Anyway, welcome in. If it's your first time, this is probably a good example of the bonkers world that you've arrived in, but you know I'm here to give you a couple of hours of fun this evening. We should be done in about an hour and a half, maybe up to 2 hours. If you've got time to give me on a Saturday night, I've got time to share with you. If you're from the Northern Hemisphere, welcome, and a welcome Saturday morning to you guys. I want to show you something to start with, okay? So we're going to paint, obviously. First of all, I want to show you my beautiful t-shirt, okay? I'm going to step back and reveal all. Because do you remember see if I can get it right there. A few weeks ago, I found out that there's this whole thing on the internet which is taking the mick out of middle-aged Karens. Apparently Karens, I don't even know where it started, but apparently someone who was called Karen said, I want to speak to the manager. And then it became a meme, and then this whole Karen thing has erupted. So one of my gorgeous friends, who is a very clever person, has made me this t-shirt. And it says, ignore Karen, she isn't even vegetarian. Sorry, vegan, says vegan. I love it. Thank you, Helena. Helena paints with us on a Saturday. I don't know if she's here tonight, but if she is, thank you very much. She's a gorgeous, gorgeous friend. She's actually English, from Nottingham. And we've had lots of creative times together in the Gap so far when we met each other, and continue to do so. So she's one of my She Shed friends, which is a bit like the WI or the CWA. We've created our own thing in the Gap, which is to share the creative love, share the kind of female bonding. It's a club for you to take ownership of something that you want to do and spread the love with your female friends, new friends, and make friends, really. That's the kind of idea behind it, but we won't talk about She Shed. But thank you, Helena, for my beautiful t-shirt. I am loving wearing it, and it's brought me some really happy, joyous moments. My kids don't understand it, but that's okay. She also hand-painted me a beautiful mug, which I used this morning, so thank you very much indeed. So I've already popped on at 5, and we did this really gorgeous painting of a whale in the sunset, which, as you know, I have saved it. And so if you feel like you want to have the urge to paint that one, it will be saved under my videos. As always, just follow the page, like the page, become one of the community, and then you'll get all the notifications when bits and bobs happen. But all my videos I save in the video library there, and I make sure that I update them and give you all the information. Of course, I always love it when you send me your pictures. So if you've done any pictures, and you know what I'm going to say to you tonight is, even if you're doing pictures that are not my pictures, please share them. Like maybe you've just opened your creative mind and now the juices are flowing and you're doodling all over the place. Well, I'd love to see them. They don't have to be my classes. You know me, I just can't get enough of it. So please share them with us, share them with the community, and let us all really enjoy it. It's been a super exciting week for me. I'm about to share with you the grand unveiling of my husband's love for his wife. He has built me this incredible, I'm looking at it now, which is why my eyes are going everywhere. He has built me this incredible structure. You know, when I was in the performing arts, it would have been called a rig. So he's made me a rig, which is, I'm going to take this camera, the one that I'm chatting to you, I'm going to take this one down, and I'm going to give you a bit of a tour before we even start painting. So are you ready? We've got people popping in. We've got Teresa and Solitaire and Margaret and Pam. Welcome, welcome. Come on in, everybody. I'm about to give you a really exciting tour. Are you ready? Okay, so I'm going to unclip you. And I know you're used to this because I used to do this when the family came over, but the family don't come over now. They've all got sleepovers. Right, I'm just going to unclip you. Are you ready for this? Okay, turning round. So this is my rig. It looks like a bed, but look at that. So I have these metal girders in my studio. Are girdles? I don't know what a girdle. They're not a girdle, but you know what they are. Those metal things that hold a structure up. So he's created this thing, which I am going to move, but not too much. Look, it's on wheels. I don't move it too much, it's all set up. But it's on wheels, which means that I can pull it forwards and back. And then this shelf here is in the middle, and that can slide that way or that way. So depending on when I teach and I use my hands, then I can move it wherever I want. And you can see I've got one, there's my camera, which is looking at my picture. And then here's all my lights. And then my computer up there, which as you can see is how I'm streaming 2 cameras in one. And the little mic, there's my mic thing there. This here is a little hook off a camera, and he's created these like little pegs along here. So I can move this camera wherever I want. Look at it. Now, I'm so impressed. He has been here nearly every night. Look at the size of it. It's phenomenal. And then when my studio opens, these wing nuts here, I can just untwist them and take the frame down, and those little trolleys can just go out and I can still teach the kids. Clearly, the first thing I wanted to do was stick some bunting on it because, you know, my life is all about decoration and flags and colour. So that's what it looks like if you come in the studio. I look dead professional now. Look at me. I am internet sensation. What can I say? It's so cool though, isn't it? Let me know what you think. Give me a 1 if you think it's amazing. Give me a 2 if you're sort of impressed. Give me a 3 if you're like, meh. And give me a 4 if you're like, buh. But I think it should be 1s all round. So I'm going to flip it back that way, try and get this all back on the tripod. It's probably going to go upside down. There we are, done it. So that's what David's been doing all week. Bless his heart. Last weekend, some of my JobKeeper money has gone towards paying for the wood and all the materials. And, oh, I need to move that one just that way. That's it. Get it in the right position. Yeah, look at that, David. You got 1s, 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 1s. And Pam gave you a 10. So I don't know where the 10 came from, but I guess it's 10 out of 10. So, yeah, it's fantastic. Because like I've said to you, I am going to carry on doing this, all right? But listen, without further ado, let's start painting, because you know I natter as I paint, so we can carry on the convo as we paint. How does that sound? So, if you go to my banner on You Create Art at Home, you'll be able to see the whale that we're doing. And it is a beautiful painting inspired by Rena Cotier, who is a Maori artist. So we should say Kaya Ora, which is hello and welcome in Maori. And we send big love to our New Zealand, Tasman family, as we call them down in Australia. New Zealand to Aussies is a bit like Scotland, Wales and Ireland is to England. You know, we're all part of it. And they've done really well in COVID. Their numbers are really low like us. And so if the borders are going to be lifted internationally, it sounds like they're going to lift them between the Polynesian islands like Fiji and stuff and New Zealand. So we might be able to go internationally in the next 6 months to those countries, probably not that much further afield. So colours today, the whale and the ocean is all blues and greens. Now, I don't mind if you want to go more green than blue. I don't mind if you want to go more purpley blue. I'm going to leave those colour choices to you. We're going to start off by creating a blend of the background, and then we're going to draw the shape of the whale, and this whale has a bit of translucency to it, yeah? So we don't want to fully paint it in. Look, if you do, doesn't matter, does it? Really doesn't matter. But we're going to try and get that kind of, it's almost like the spirit of the ocean. Is when I looked at this picture, that's how I saw it. I saw it as kind of like the spirit of the ocean, which I think is a beautiful thing, isn't it? I mean, last year I went to Canada and I went up to Alaska with my eldest sister, who I went on holiday with on a cruise, and we saw the orca whales. Holy dooly, boom! Mind-blowing, mind-blowing. And if ever there was a time where you felt connected to nature, that moment was it, you know, just spectacular. So let's try and do that justice. I'm going to start off my painting, my background, using household paintbrushes. So I've got a selection of 3 there. If you haven't got a household paintbrush, then just use your largest one, okay? The reason why I'm going to use a large household paintbrush is we want really broad strokes on this background. It's going to be in an arch, not a rainbow. A rainbow would be like this. Whoop, whoop. So we want a sweeping arch. And I want the colours to blend really nicely. So I'm going to use this wide brush to create that blend. So without further ado, are you ready? Give me a hey yeah. Oh yeah. High five, Karen. I'm ready. Are you pumped? Definitely a 1. Thanks. Continuing my learning. Beautiful, Teresa. Welcome. Holly Mitchell, hi. Jill, hi. John, hi. Pam, hi. Everybody gave you a 1, Dave. Get in there. Okay, I'm going to start off. Now, I'm going to dip my brush in the water first, so it's wet. And then I'm going to choose 3 colours. So I'm going to start off with my darkest blue. Hopefully the sound's all good. I've got my little Leo Sayer mic on, so you should be able to see here, even if I turn my back to the canvas. Okay, the first blue. Big swoop. Do not put lots of heavy paint on this. Remember what I said. We want to build this colour up and we want it to have translucency. Now, can you see, as I've dragged that from side to side, some of it is really nicely blended and some of it isn't. This is where the bristles have gone dry. So I'm not putting my brush back in the paint. I'm just dipping it back in the water. The paint is already on my paper. So if I dip it back in the water and go back over the top look, it's just like watercolour. It will just do the work for you. Let your paintbrush do the work for you. Okay, I'm now going to go for a green. So I'm not cleaning my brush. I've just dipped the end of the brush in green and I'm coming up here and I'm going to do a green. I guess it is like a rainbow, but it's a very wide rainbow, yeah? Very, very wide. Try and just move my clip a minute while I get to the top of my paper. And you want to try and keep that same shape. So when you get to these corners, you need to still paint at the same angle, okay? Same here, paint on the same angle. Don't then flatten it off, otherwise you'll lose the shape that you're creating. If you're like me and you've got that bit of your easel in the way, then just lift it up and just paint through it, like that, pop it back down. Same with my clips, I'm just going to have to lift them up. Because once I've painted, it's fine. Lift it up, paint through it, like that. And then I'm going to put it back down. So the aim with this is to try and get a nice, soft, watery kind of colour. Not really thick paint, yeah? Not really thick paint. Nice, even, smooth application of paint. I'll just put my hand right through that. Now, the only downside with using water is it makes the paper crinkle a little bit, which you can see mine just has, but that's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't get stressed by that. Unless, of course, you're planning to put this into a competition or something and then you're getting all anxious over it. But if not, and it's just for you, then just use it as a learning tool. Okay, so I've done that greeny colour. I've done that bluey colour. I'm now going to dip my brush into some white, and between the green and blue, I'm just going to drag white through it. And I'm not going to try and overblend it. Don't overblend, just put a drag in there, just to get that colour. And I'm going to do the same with a bit of a brighter green. I'm just going to drag over the top. So I'm dragging my brush. What's the difference between dragging and painting? Well, if I paint, I push my brush down. If I drag, the pressure's in your hand. So if you push down on your brush, look at the small camera. If you push down on your brush, look what happens. The brush pushes down and all the paint transfers. If you drag, you're just tickling it. Yeah, you're just tickling it on the surface. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to move down. I want to put a darker colour here. So I'm not going to wash my brush. I'm going to dip it in some purple and some blue. Okay, and off we go. So this is going to give me a darker tone below. Doesn't matter if green comes out. Doesn't matter if white comes out. We just want to have a bit of darkness obviously in the depth of the ocean. So I'm dragging it across the paper first, like that. And once I've dragged it across the paper, I then wet my brush, and the wet brush does the blending. So I am not painting, I am just using the bristles to move the paint, and it blends itself. And you want to try and keep that same angle and that same, because that's what will give it flow. That's where you'll get your sort of energy from. Not energy, movement. If you have drips, let them drip. Let that be part of your design. So you should end up with that, which is a beautiful kind of purpley blue. Just moving it around so that you can see, because there is a little bit of bounce and reflection. I might just try and turn one of these lights off, having rigged them all up. I don't even know where the switches are now. Holy dooly, where's the switches go? There's one. Let's turn that one off. That's better. Okay. All right, beautiful. How are we going, everybody? I would like to know from you guys, what is happening with your situation? Where are you? Have your kids gone back to school? Are you still in lockdown? How's it going? Certainly, I can tell that things are changing. The numbers of our painting viewers is definitely getting smaller. Am I worried about that? No, not at all. Because whether you are going to watch it today, or you pick up and do it tomorrow, or you do it next week, I don't care. For me, this is my time with you guys, and I'm committed. It's like if I have a painting class and there's only 4 people in the class, am I going to give them less of a class than having it to 40? No, of course not. So, you know, what you get is the chance to ask me directly if you've got a problem. So that's the benefit to you. The benefit of you showing up is you get my time. I'm right with you. If you're watching this on the replay, thank you and welcome. There's nothing wrong with watching it on the replay at all, but obviously I can't answer your questions spontaneously. But you can always message me, yeah? Send me a private message, stick it on the chat in the middle of You Create Art at Home, and I'll definitely message you back. Because you know me, I like to keep in touch with you all, and for me, this is one big community, yeah? My kids are back at school, yeah, I know. I'm actually thrilled. And I have to say, I'm thrilled, but the kids are ecstatic to be back. You know, they have had enough of lockdown. It was enough. My twin sister lives in Abu Dhabi. Do you know what she told me on Friday? The UAE schools, which is the United Arab Emirates, so that's Dubai, Qatar, all of those, their schools are not opening until 2021, people. So if we think we've had it hard with 5 weeks, holy dooly, my poor twin sister has already had her kids home for 10 weeks, and now she is going to have them home. So they'll do they're on the same time as English school holidays. And so they will have their summer break, which is end of July through to September. And then that term, which will be the first term of the next school year, September through to Christmas, still working from home. Oh my goodness. That is a big scale, isn't it? Okay, so hopefully you've all got your backgrounds done. If you haven't got your background done or you're having any problems, let me know. We are going to move to a round brush because we're going to start doing the drawing part. Okay, so we're going to move to a round brush and we're going to start to do the drawing part. Now, it's going to be a little bit tricky for me because I need to at some point I'm going to have to come in to get the right movement. Essentially, the whale is going to come from up here, and we're going to draw this shape, which I guess would be like a really loose S if you were to make it an S, but I don't want you to make it an S because we're not going to do the bottom bit of it. But we're basically going to have a curve that has a very wide, loose curve, and it's going to go down there, down there. I'm just doing it, using the invisible paint. So down there, really wide across, and then here, it curves up, okay? So that's the shape. So it's not, whoa, it's not like that. It's much smoother. It's almost like if you were going to have a diagonal line from corner to corner, it's sort of in that flow, but obviously you're not going along the diagonal, okay? And then the tail is going to be here at the end. So we're not going to put the tail in yet. Now, to draw this, I want you to mix up, and you might need to get a plate or something to mix this up. I want you to mix up a darkish blue colour. Try not to make it like too dark, just in case you make a mistake. And then add some water so it becomes like a watery paint. And we're going to draw with that, okay? So this is going to be a guideline. So you want to try, if possible, to get the right shape, because you don't want to keep on rubbing it out. If you make a mistake, it doesn't matter, obviously, too much. But you're better off trying to let your hand flow like this before you put your brush down. So then you can then once you do it, you can do it in one flow. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So here we go. I'm just going to have a quick look down, round and up. Okay. So I'm just, make sure you can still see. I'm just going to stand in front of it so I can get my right, can you see like that? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to put my hand here. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to get to about there. That's my aim. And you might want to put a spot. So can you see, I'm hoping that you can see that I haven't really put too much paint down, but I have managed to make a mark, which is where I want, that's the outside. And because we want this to be nicely sort of see-through, I don't want to overpaint it. Yeah, I don't want to overpaint it. So it's just a really slow one here. Welcome, Lucy. I can just see that you haven't got the paints. That's fine. I tell you what, if you want to just have a practice with shape, then why don't you just get a biro and just follow me in terms of the shape and the patterning. You'll be quite surprised. Just do it on the back of a invoice, if you like, or a school letter or something like that. You can just have a little play with the shapes that we're going to do if you want to. If you're watching, why not? Then when you get your paints, then you can have a good go and you'll be 2 steps ahead of us all because you'll have had a practice. As most of my regulars know, Karen doesn't practice these. Bess just gives it a go and just turns up and works it out on the day, which is fine. Okay, now, the difference between a dolphin shape and a whale shape is obviously the girth of the body, which is quite a bit wider. So, again, I'm going to practice that shape, and it's going to come right down here, and it's going to come here, and we want to try and get to this point here where, so, let me get that yellow yucky bit off. What's that come from? I've got some little tiny piece of yellow there. All right. So what we want to try and do, if you looked at it, it would be like a teardrop almost. So if you can either start this way and make it go out and join up. And the mouth of the whale, it's not a pointed nose like a shark. It's not a stub nose like a dolphin. It's a big, almost like a clam. Does that make sense? Like a clam shape. So I'm going to go backwards. So I'm going to start here. And I'm going to go back down. Get some more paint. Get some more paint. And that's kind of the shape I'm going for, okay? Now, I want to kind of wobble it just a little bit. I don't want it to be, and we can do this with more paint in a minute, but I don't want it to be an exact line. So I'm just going to wobble that line just a little bit, and I'm doing it with water actually. I'm putting plain water on top of my painted line to kind of dissolve it and redraw it. And because, do you remember I said that I wanted it kind of ghost-like, then that kind of dissolved line is exactly kind of what I'm looking for anyway. If you want to rub lines out, can you see what I'm doing? I'm using water, and I'm just painting the line back over the rest of the colour, and it kind of dissolves. So you can just see that I've just taken a bit of an edge just to make a bit of a wobble. Doesn't have to be anything spectacular, but it's just because the bottom of a whale is slightly rigid. It's got some ridges and some texture, so we're just going to mark that in. Okay, now we're going to put in the tail. And the tail is like a paisley shape. So I'm going to start up where I know, and I'm going to try and do this all in one shape, okay? Another way I explained it when I was doing the kids, it's like a moustache. It's like drawing a moustache. And I'm going to do it in two sections. So here we go, up and over. And just get some more paint. There's a fine line between me having too much paint that I don't want it to have too much paint, but not enough paint that you can't actually see what I'm doing. So I'm trying to put enough paint on there so you can see what I'm doing, but I don't want it to be late. You know, I'm trying to use that watery paint like I explained. So that's that shape that way. Oh, silly Karen. I've done it wrong. Stop. Stop. Okay, I'm just going to get rid of that. Look at this. Instant eraser. That's just water on a wet brush. Instant eraser. Don't tell me that you can't when you do things wrong, you can't get rid of them. Okay, the reason is the tail needs to curve up. So I did the tail the wrong way, so I need to curve up. So start again. Start from the curvy side. Go down that side, go round, and then back to yourself. That's what Karen did wrong. There, that's better. Let's try and get a bit, I'm just going to get some more blue so it's a bit darker for you because you're probably struggling to see that. That's better. There we go. All right, so now you can see that it curves back. Linda's watching the grown-up one and loving it. Well done for painting the younger one. And you know what? Grown up or not grown up, it doesn't matter which one you do, really. If the kids want to have a go at this, then yeah, brilliant. Okay, now my tail on this piece of paper is going to go off the edge. Your tail might fit in, my tail will not. Do I worry about that? No, Karen does not. She is not worried about that. Bess says it's okay for it to go off your paper. And then it's just going to flick there. It doesn't matter if it goes off. That just shows, you know, that it's, I don't know, flowing through. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing has to be perfect. So now I'm just joining up the tail with the body. Making sure that joins up really well, which it has. Hopefully this is this dark enough for you to see it? Can you all see that okay? Hopefully you can. Awesome. Now, in the actual painting, which is by a New Zealand artist, you know, she does very specific patterns. And I don't want you to be too stressed about trying to make your patterns exactly the same, okay? We don't need to copy everything verbatim. So we can make our own different choices. So I'm going to give you some guidelines and then you can kind of explore and play, okay? All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to divide the underbelly of our whale to the top of the whale, yeah? And we're going to start up here with the nose. I'm just going to move that over there. I'm going to start up here with the nose. And the eye is about here. So I want to come down and under the eye. So the easiest thing to do is to draw where that eye is going to be to start with. And then I'm going to go forward to the mouth. This is where one of the fins are going to be. And then I'm going to follow the flow of my whale and go back up towards the tail. So that's divided my whale into the under of the whale and the over of the whale. Under the whale and over. Hi Jackie, watching from Hemels Hempstead. I wish my art teachers were as good as you. Really enjoying your sessions and I've been sharing them. Thank you. Please everybody share my sessions. Share me. Don't keep me to yourself, you selfish people. Share me. I want to be shared. I want to proliferate around the world. I want to leave my legacy of crazy Karen creative. Yeah, please share. Let everybody have a go, you know? At the end of the day, I don't want to... I'm stood in my studio on my own on a Saturday night, people. And today, I have no wine. I had too much of it. Had 2 friends over last night. Their son is my youngest son's bestie. So we invited Jen and Tom over for dinner. Too much wine. I'm just saying, too much wine. You know when you actually can't remember when you went to bed? And you have that kind of feeling like, ooh, did I say anything inappropriate? The kids stayed up and I appreciate that some of you might think this is a little bit irresponsible, but it was in my home and it was all very safe. My children, the boys, as a chemistry lesson when we were in lockdown, we gave them David's homebrew kit that he's had for donkey's years kicking around, and it's been boxed up and never used. So we said, why don't you brew some beer? So they had a go at brewing beer, and it was ready to be sampled last night. So I promised the boys that we could give them a little shandy, because when I was their age, I always used to have a shandy from my dad. And we were at home, you know, we were safe at houses. Oh, it was so gross. It was like so syrupy, so sweet. If that honestly is how much sugar is in alcohol, holy dooly, it's no wonder none of us can lose weight when we've all been drinking. Blimey, it was like, I don't even know in Australia if you even know this thing, but the thing called black treacle, maybe it's just an English thing. It's like the molasses that's been, actually, we went up to Bundaberg last year and we went and did the Bundaberg tour for the ginger beer making. And that treacly stuff that they weigh off, it's just like that, molasses. And that was our beer. Ooh. So I woke up with a right thick head this morning and I was on a international conference about putting my classes online, doing an online course, an online art course so that I can create an art club for people. And I was online from 8:30 until 3:30 today with only 45-minute break. It's been a long day. And I've done another art class. Are you impressed? This is me and I'm not even getting paid for this. I'm just giving you myself. Giving it all to you. All right, let's get back to the painting. Where are we? We need to put in the fin. Okay, so this fin here is going to come down. Okay, it's going to come down. So it's kind of like a big leaf shape. All right, so I'm going to go there and around and down the bottom. And then come back, and you can just curve it a little bit there, just at the bottom. So that's that fin there. And then obviously there's one, the other side, and it is not going to come down as far, just going to come down to about there. All right, that's our 2 whale fins. And then we're going to put in our eye. There's something beautiful about a whale's eye, isn't there? You know how you see those pictures where, you know, I'm going to come up really close now and do a whale eye at you. See if I can do my whale noise. Hang on. Let's get this going. Hang on. I'm feeling like I should do something crazy. Here we go. Get this light right up. Ready? Does that sound like a whale? No. Doesn't sound anything like a whale. I can't remember what whales sound like. It doesn't sound like it, but I want it to. I want that to sound like a whale. It just sounds like I'm constipated. Okay, let's put in the eye. Let's do the eye first. Now, I'm going to go with an aqua colour. Who can remember how to make aqua? Hands up! Anybody remember? No, so none of you can you? Okay, you get mostly white, then you add a touch of blue, and you get pale blue, then you add a tiniest bit of yellow. If you put yellow and blue together first, you end up with too much green and you can't pull it back to the aqua-y colour that you want. Okay, so I'm going to use this and I'm going to paint that. I'm going to make it darker first to start with. Hang on, whoa. Just going to add a tiny bit more blue, and I'm going to paint the whole of the eye. If you want to make it darker, you can. I've gone for, or if this was on a tone, you know, on a shade card, and 10's the darkest, this is probably a 3 or a 4, something like that. And I've just painted the entire eye area, okay? Just painted the entire eye area. And it's a leaf shape, yeah? Or a rugby ball, or an AFL ball, or whatever else you can use as a reference, that's what it is. So I've just painted in that eye shape for you. You make me laugh when you lot laugh at me. Because I honestly, I'm here talking to myself. Okay, when you've got that colour that you've just mixed, I want you to go to your tail, the same colour, and where the fat part of the tail is, I want you to try and create a spiral. So if you're not sure, then why don't you watch me first? And I'm trying to create the spiral shape. So you can see it's that kind of aqua-y green colour. So that's the spiral there, okay? And I'm not going heavy on the colour. Why? Well, because if I want to refine it later, I will be able to. But if I paint too heavy with my colours now, I can't really add any more on. And remember, we're trying to go with this really soft, kind of ghostly painting, yeah? So that's why I kind of want some of the blue to show through. We just want the background to show through a little bit and have that kind of, that change up. Okay, so if you have done your 3 colour, I want you to add in a little bit more white just to take it up another tone. If it's too blue, your aqua, add in a little bit more yellow. If it's too yellow, add in a little bit more blue until you get the right aqua colour you want. But we're looking for a really pale tone. You're looking for something that's a 2 or a 3. And you know what, if you decide you don't want to use aqua, use purple or something, that's fine. Okay? It's your painting, you make those decisions yourself. I'm just here as your guide, taking you on your journey. Okay, so I'm going to paint in his, the undercarriage of the body. And I'm using my round brush, so I'm going back over those curly areas. And if you get areas where it comes out a bit paler or a bit darker, don't overmix it. Just let that streaky change of colour play out. All right, just let it play out. Don't overpaint it too thick. Remember, if you see some of the background coming through, then that's fine. Just give it a coat over the top. Okay, let me explain that a bit better. If I was going to paint a solid shape and I was going to use solid acrylic, then I would have layered it up really, really thick. But I'm not. Can you see I'm pulling the colour along with my wet brush, and you can still see the blue in the background. So I can still see the bluey purple. So that's how I'm getting that kind of ghostly effect. You can still see I've got a bit of lightness there on the mouth area, and then there's the greeny blue, and then it pulls into some blue where the tummy is. And I'm going to use that same blue at the very bottom, so behind the fin. But I'm not overpainting. I haven't got lots of acrylic on. I am using colour, but it's very watery. It's almost like I'm creating. This painting would be amazing with watercolours. The only thing with watercolours is they are so wet, whereas when you're using acrylics and you try and create this, this watery effect, it's much easier to manage the wetness because it's up to you how much water you put on. Whereas when you're using watercolour, the whole point of watercolour is that it's the water that does the blending, not your brush. So it's a kind of different technique. So I'm just adding in a darker amount of blue to the very undercarriage, the very base of the tummy, but not over blending, so you can still see the streakiness of the original background that we did, yeah? That original background. I haven't done the fin, I've gone round the fin, but I have gone all the way up to the tail. And I'm just over painting that line just so that I haven't got that hard line. And that's about all I'm going to do. Would this work with coloured pencils? Absolutely, Lucy, absolutely. The only thing I would say with coloured pencils, Lucy, is that I wouldn't probably go with a whole coloured background. Have you got watercolour pencils? If you've got watercolour pencils, which I love, anybody that knows, who's watched me before, know the couple of things that I absolutely love is watercolour pencils. Why? Because you can scribble really quickly with a watercolour pencil. Scribble the colour down, does not have to look posh, does not have to stay within the lines. Then you get a wet brush and boom, watercolour straight up. So if you are doing this background, Lucy, are you new, by the way? I can't remember if you're new, and if you are, welcome. I don't mean to say that rudely, okay? That's come out wrong. Gosh, that was serious. I'm not a serious person. Let me just ask, Lucy, let me know, are you new? Give me a 1 if you're new. Give me a 2. No, I'm not. I've been here before. You've totally forgotten me. And 3, I don't want to answer. But let's say you're new. And if you are new, you won't have seen this. This is one of my hacks. So for those of you that don't have art materials, those of you that want to join in and haven't got art materials, yeah? Look at this. This is the inside of a felt tip pen. One of the kids. The felt tip pen stopped working, so the kids, you know when you've got their pencil cases and it's full of ones and they go, oh, don't work, they're rubbish. Crack the pen open. Take the inside out, stick it in a cup or a jar or, you know, a yogurt pot or whatever. Add some water, and I've used a lot of this. And literally in 24, 48 hours, you have watercolour. Homemade watercolour. So that's a green. Look. Green, purple, yellow, all exactly the same. With the insides, this one's gone a bit cloudy now, I don't know what's going on in there, but all with the insides of a felt tip pen. So if you do that, you could then do your background and get a really beautiful background. Yes, but do you have watercolour? I did mine with the WR. Okay, Lucy, you did yours with the WI. Sorry about that. Yeah, watercolour pencils, if you've never used them, get them out. Before you start your main picture, just get a piece of paper, like a piece of paper out of the copy machine, your printer at home, and just have a play. Have a play with them. Because what you'll find with those watercolour pencils is you could do green, then you could do blue, and then you could put yellow, and then use the water over the top, and you'll merge, and you will get a background so similar to this. Really, really, really have a play. I'm just going to let you watch that a minute. I'm just going to go and see if I can find a picture for Lucy with one I've done with watercolour pencils. Bear with me. I know you can hear me because I've got this fabulous microphone that means that when I walk around the studio now, everybody can hear me, which is amazing. Oh my God, people, I have so much art in this place now. Ever since COVID, honestly, look at this pile of art. So, look, I have pictures coming out of my ear holes. Okay, so Lucy, here's a good example of, this was done with those felt tip pen watercolours. Really bright, really vibrant. That was done with those. This one was done with regular watercolours, so that's your traditional watercolour. Yeah. And then I'm going to find one where I've used watercolour pencils. I'm sure I've got one here somewhere. Oh my goodness, I've got too much art. How am I going to find it? Maybe not. Is there one on here? Oh, here we go. Let's take this one down. I appreciate that the subject matter, actually it's quite apt for today. I appreciate that it's not that grown up, but this one here, I'm going to put it up really close so that you can see it. That is done with watercolor pencils. So you can see the background, you get that watercolory effect, and that was me just scribbling with blue. This is some character from Fortnite that my son told me to draw for the kids. So that's done with watercolor pencils. So you get lots of accuracy because you can draw and then you just put water over the top and it mixes. Okay, let's get back to it, people. So using your bluey tone, I want you to start to paint in. Now I'm going to switch up for a bigger brush now, and we're going to start to paint in this fin. So I've gone slightly darker. And I'm just going to paint one side like that. And that's really to make it pop forward of the body. So I've gone slightly darker and I've just done one side. And then I'm going to do the other side over here. Again, I've gone darker than the tummy. And then rather than painting the whole thing in, I want to add a tiny bit of purple. Make sure it's watery. You do not want it to be thick paint. Nice and watery. And I'm going to do the other side with that purpley tone. And it doesn't matter if it comes out. Oh, I don't know how I've got orange there. I've picked up some red in my purple and I've got orange. Hang on. It doesn't matter. Let's just overpaint that. So the reason why I'm adding purple is I just don't want it to be one flat blue colour. So I'm just adding in a bit of purple on the tips. You can see though it's very watery. You know, I don't want it thick because I still want the background to shine through just that little bit. Okay, with this purple, I'm going to overpaint overpaint the far curve of my spiral on the tail. Pushing it down and I'm going to flick it round. Pushing it down and I'm going to flick it round. So again, I don't want it to be super thick, the paint. I just want it to be enough that you can see another colour on top. And the same with the one underneath. I'm just doing the curve like that. Awesome. Now, the top of the tail, I want the pale green that we had here for the tummy, the throat area, and I'm going to paint it backwards towards that part of the spiral, but I don't want to connect them. I just want it to almost dissolve. So I don't want it to connect. I just want it to dissolve. And you might need to do that with water. So I'm starting with the pale colour. And then I'm going to go in around that swirl. And I just want it, I want it to be there, but I don't want it to be there. That sounds completely contradictory. But with a wet brush now, I'm going to try and paint backwards just to dissolve and make it kind of look see-through. There, do you see that? I might pick up the easel and come close. No, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it off here and I'm going to bring this closer. Right, you ready? Unplug it. Okay, I'll have to look. There, so can you see how I've painted that? You can just see the background still shining through. Do you see that? I'm going to move it down so you can see all of the the whale. Again, you can still see the background shining through. If you feel like you've got too much paint, get yourself a kitchen towel and just use it as a blotter and blot some of the paint off if you need to. But you want to kind of have that ghostly look. All right, that kind of ghostly look. Okay, going to put you back now. Sorry if it makes you seasick, but sometimes I have to do that to really be able to show you all the detail. Okay, we're back in. See all the canvas okay? Awesome. Okie dokie. I'm going to go back to my eye now, peeps. And I'm going to, I want a greeny, so I'm adding more green to my teal colour, or my aqua blue, and I'm going to paint the green of the eyeball. Now we're going to do a lid over this later, but for now, just so you get a really good circle, just paint it like that, because we want to let it dry, okay? We want to let it dry. And we're going to paint the lid half closed over the top. But that will now dry off, and that's why we're sort of skipping around a little bit so we can let bits dry. Okay, I'm going to move on to doing some pattern work, okay? If you want to add more colour to your tummy, you can. What happens is that as it dries, you then get to see whether it's coloured enough, or whether the colour is too pale. And, you know, I can't, unfortunately, it's not an exact science. It's one of those things that as it dries, the colour changes, just like it does when you paint a wall in your house. And as it changes, you then decide, oh yeah, I need a bit more colour there, or I need a bit less colour there. And so you need to kind of adapt it as you go, all right? So I can't obviously see your paintings either, so all I can do is show you. I'm just adding in a punch more purple on the arm, the fin, sorry. Just because as it's dried up, it's gone really, really pale. I'm just adding a punch more purple, and I'm going to add a punch more blue as well. Just as a background. Because in a minute we're going to put all our patterns. So we're trying to get all this colour laid on, because in a minute we're going to do the pattern work over the top. So we want to get all the colour that we're going to lay on as a background done. And then we're going to add our pattern. So I think I'm just adding a bit more colour to those fins. They were a bit too pale. The tail's okay. I'm happy with that. Beautiful. Okay. So I want to show you a technique. And I'm going to need to ask you to just pause what you're doing. Let me just see if I've got any comments. No, everything's fine. Okay, I'm going to need you to pause what you're doing so you can watch me, all right? This is one of those things I can probably do it 2 or 3 times, but then I'll run out of space to show you. It's basically painting with 2 colours at the same time. So you're basically going to load your brush with 2 colours. Now, it depends on the width of your, or how big your whale is, will depend whether you could use a big brush like this, or whether you need to use a round brush, but you're basically going to load 2 colours at the same time. So I'm going to use the square brush that I've got, and I'm going to load it with white and with blue. And when I say load it, I'm going to show you here. Can you see I've got half my brush is blue and half my brush is white. So you load, and I learnt this when I was, let's go closer, there, you can see that really well now, I think. When I was learning how to face paint, I learnt this as a technique that people do face painting. Just going to get my old Panda that I did, and I'm going to show you what I mean. So you use your brush and you drag it, and you'll have 2 colours that come out at the same time. 2 colours that come out at the same time. And what we're going to do is create waves over the back, and you spin your brush and it will create the wave of colour. When you run out of paint, you just dip it in the water and you should be able to get another wave of colour out. Now the shape is very much going to be up to you to determine because it's how you flick your hand. And you might want to get a piece of paper and just practice like I'm doing now. But you basically start off, it's like a letter S. You start off one side, push down, swoop up and swoop under. So you get that, I'm going to move them close so you can see that shape. So you start here, you push down, get my white, you start here, you push down, streak up and pull over. So you get the letter S. All right? So have a little practice if you need to. And it doesn't matter where you put these. So please don't get hung up trying to get them in exactly the right place. If they go in different places, it really doesn't matter, okay? Yes, we're using a real painting as inspiration, but really, it really doesn't matter, okay? So I'm just going to do some swoopy shapes. And I want you to be brave. Have a go. If you get to a point here, can you see how my colour ran out? I'm just going to use my brush and paint backwards, and that will just finish off that bit that was missing. So the idea is to try and get that sort of wavy shape, like you know, like a beautiful ocean wave. And I want to finish that off I want to curve that so that it goes to the end of the nose. Like that. So that's how I'm going to finish that. And we can tidy these up at the end in a minute, but we're going to get that to the end of the nose. And these ones, I'm going to curve back this way. So I'm going to go curve, 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 and swoop. So that's my kind of wave motif that's on the top of my whale. You can do exactly the same by changing the colours. So the next one I might do is blue and purple. And I'm going to do a big spiral on the fin. And I need a bit more purple. And I'm just going to go over that a second time. So I need to, if you're going over it a second time, you need to make sure the edge that you had the purple on and the edge that you had the blue on is the same edges. So there's my big shape there. And obviously there would be a similar shape on the other side. You might not see it all, so you're going to have to work out how it gets hidden. See there how I've tucked it in by the belly, but you've got that little shape there. I'm now going to do a green and a blue. And I'm going to just do that tail. And you can do wherever you want. You've got the idea now. You can really personalize this yourself. If you want to follow what I've done, you can. If you want to change it up, you can. Okay, there's no right or wrong. I'm really making it up as I go on myself. So I'm just sort of filling in some of these underneath this wave. I'm just using this kind of green colour. And I'm trying to keep some of this background showing, but I'm just trying to fill in almost like the top of the body with some colour before I do the final line work. So I'm using green as the top of my whale colour. Spirit of the ocean. So like I say, you can put them wherever you want. You can follow my lines if you want to. I'm looking at the original, but obviously, you know, it's not my painting. I'm not going to copy it exactly, but I'm just using it for inspiration, okay? So I'm looking at the original. I'm looking at what she's created, and I'm just using that as inspiration, and we're just creating that kind of Marie-esque looking shapes without completely copying her work, which, you know, I'm sure would be fine, but I haven't asked permission. So we're just using it as inspiration today, which is why you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong because we're not trying to make it look exactly the same, all right? You cannot go wrong. So I've kind of put in those blue waves, and then I've just done some green underneath. And now I am going to, does anybody have any questions? Everything's seems to be going quite well. Everybody seems quite happy. Please fire up if you have any questions. Now I'm going to put in the top lid of our whale's eye. I'm using a darker blue, and I'm just cutting over the eyeball with a darky kind of mauvey purpley colour over the top. And we'll also put like an eyeliner underneath. And then we're going to put in the pupil. Now I'm using black, but I'm mixing black with blue and purple, so it's not jet black. And I'm going to make sure that the eyeball is a semicircle. So you need to make it look like it's in behind the eyelid. So I'm dropping it down straight across the top so it looks like the lid is coming down over the eyeball. Nice big pupil, but flat where the eyelid goes over the top. And this isn't jet black, it's more of a kind of grey purple, I guess I'm using. Now this grey purple I'm going to start to use to contour the body. So you can follow where I'm doing it. You can see that I'm just adding in some of that grey purple there above the fin. And it's almost like just adding some darkness. We're going to do the same underneath the tummy. So it just adds another darkness on top of the purple and the blue. So it's almost like, yeah, it's like a purpley grey, really. Beautiful. And I'm going to do the same. I'm going to add some to this side of this fin here because this is in the darkness. And the bottom of the tail, just a little bit at the bottom of the tail. Wonderful. Now, I don't know whether everybody's working so hard there's no comments, but I don't have any comments or any queries. So you've either all given up and gone home and gone to bed, or you're all happy and you're just totally in the thick of things. In which case, I'm thrilled. Hopefully you are in the thick of things. Okay, finally, so we are at that point where we've done all of the painting-y bit and we're into the final detail. And the final detail is going to be the lines and the highlights and really bringing it together. So I'm going to get a finer brush because this brush I've got here is not going to be fine enough. So let me go and find a thinner brush. So you want to try and get, because it's almost like drawing fine lines now. So you want a nice small brush. I did share with you that if you don't have a small brush, but you've got an old brush, you can always trim the bristles out and make a small brush. Okay, so let me show you how small my brush is. I've got that sort of size, yeah, like a little tiny one. And I'm going to come in front of the canvas because what we are going to do is we're going to put the lines in for the tummy. And we're going to start outlining all of our pattern work. And this is where hopefully that pattern work will come to life a little bit more now. So I haven't got black. I've got black mixed with blue, and it's giving me this kind of grey colour. I'm just going to have a look at it. Okay, so I'm going to start by following. And do not feel like you have to get the exact line all the way. Let it come in and go out. It doesn't matter. It's in the water. So if it breaks as you're pushing, you're better off having it broken than trying to overpaint it and making it really thick. Okay, just let it flow in and flow out. And the line has a slight wave to it, a slight wobble as it goes down. All the way down over to the tummy. All the way down there. And then, of course, it goes all the way under. So you want to try and, if that line there was going through the fin, you find out where it is there, and then you flick it all the way to the tail. Find another line, make it feel like it's going through there, find out where it comes out the other end, and all the way to the tail. Okay, now we're going to start outlining. And the trick with getting a steady outline and a steady hand is to try and get things to go. Try and paint, see where you're going to paint, and paint one whole bit in one go. So that if you stop and start, that's when you get a bit of a shaky line. So if you're doing curves, you want to try and do as much of the curve as you can in one go. I need to put my glasses down. For those of you that are from England, there's a beautiful area in, and obviously I'm from Cornwall. There's a beautiful area in New Zealand, in the North Island, called the Coromandel. And when my husband and I were backpacking and we went to the Coromandel, it reminded us so much of Cornwall. Like, it just felt like we were home. It was such a, except for there's an awful lot less people. Like, the population was much smaller. And even though it was farmland, everything was much, there just wasn't so many houses and things around. So it did feel even more remote than Cornwall. Okay, so I'm just having a look at this. So the idea with this is that we go up, and you kind of want to draw the pattern in. So I'm trying to draw that wave shape. Be much easier, I think, possibly on the flat rather than doing this stood up, but I don't know. So I'm just using my brush to finish off the rest of the curly bits. You know, you can see I'm drawing in the bits. So I did the colour with that wide brush, and now I'm creating the curves and the kind of the Maori symboling using these black lines. And I think you could draw whatever pattern you wanted, really. I don't think it really matters what your patterning looks like at all, really. I think you could do whatever you want. So here on hers, she's got a kind of big triangle-y pattern. So I'm going to try and attempt to do something like that, which goes over the eye, so you kind of accentuate the curve of the eye. Put it into a triangle. And then make another triangle, and so forth. And it's the same here, so we'll just emulate the same shapes. And I want to go around the eye as well. And you might decide that you want to wait for this to dry maybe before you do your black lining. You might decide that you don't want to use a paint at all. Let the whole paint dry and then perhaps do a Sharpie over the top. My friend Helena used a Sharpie on her pigeons picture, and I have to say it looked fantastic. I went, oh, I never even thought about that, but it looks superb. Such a good idea. So that way you can let the painting dry completely and then come back to it, and just, you could do all sorts of patterning then, because it'll all be dry. It is a bit trickier with paint, but you know, it's good practice. Hey, it's good practice, people. And that, you know, the more you do practice with things like this, well, definitely the better you become. No doubt about it. The more you practice with different type brushes, and how much you press on a brush, the better you become. Before you know it, you will be taking art classes and giving art classes yourself. You'll have friends saying, excuse me, can you give me an art class? You are so good, which you are, because you've all showed up tonight on a Saturday night or a Saturday morning. Big love up for that, people. If you're here on the replay, thank you for joining me. Thank you for making me feel like what I am doing is worth it. Hey? All right, you can see I'm just going around my painting, and even those black lines there, as they've dried, the grey has almost like dissolved into the paper, and it's much lighter than it first looked when I first put them down, the lines down. Just gonna put the spiral in this one. I appreciate that I'm not even turning around. I will do in a minute. Once I've done all this black line, I'll turn around and see how you guys are going. If you've got any questions, let me know. Awesome, awesome. I'm going to try and add just a bit more actual black to that eye, just to get a real darkness to it. There we go. And then I want to put one kind of stripe through the middle of the eyelid itself, like a crease. And then I want to put a blob of white as a highlight on the other side like that, which, because my paint is still wet, I can literally only just drop it on, and I just kind of need to let it sit there really, like that. All right, let me see if I've got any messages or any comments. Such a pretty area around the Coromandels. It is, Helena, you're right. Mesmerized, concentrating. I know, everybody is. Everybody's like in the zone. Okay, I'm now going to, oh, I haven't finished the black over the front of the nose. I should have played some whale song. Helen and I talked about playing whale song. Well, you did have my attempt at whale song. How lucky are you? What a gorgeous sound that was. Bess making the sound of a whale. Yeah, not quite. All right, beautiful. Okay, I'm going to add some white now. So I'm not going to use absolute white. I'm going to mix the white into my palest green, and I should end up with like a 1, I would say. In terms of tone, it's a 1 in the green phrase. So it's not, I've just dropped the paintbrush. Oh my God, I'm tired. Ow! I'm so old. I really am feeling old. Okay, so yeah, I want to add some highlight. So this is where you want to be careful, because you want to work out where the kind of raises would be in your raises. You know how if things bend like this, then the under part of your bend is in shadow, and it's the lump, the hump bit is where the light touches. So you need to look at where the bits are kind of, where they would be raised, and that's where you would have highlighted areas. So, oh look, no one's going to say, oh, you've done it in the wrong place. But rule of thumb is to try and, you know, so you can see that that bit of the body would be raised because the fin is below. So I've tried to get that. And then here on the nose, it would definitely be highlighted. Let's put in some highlight there. Just going to try and get some white on the tips of these curves where it's missing. And then on my tail, definitely I want to get some highlights on the very tips. And then, I mean, you could put in some dots maybe if you wanted to. I don't even know if that's Mary or not, but I feel like I want to add some dots, so I'm going to. It's more probably Indigenous Australian, but I actually feel like I want to add dots, so I'm adding them. And if you feel like you want to add them, people, add them. This is your painting. If you want to add dots or stripes, you go ahead and add them, because that's what I feel. And right now, I feel like I just wanted to add a few dots to add a bit of patterning. You know, just to give a little bit more. Just adding in some flashes of colour, some flashes of lightness. And it's very hard, you know, you don't want to overpaint the light areas, but you want enough just to sort of give it a bit more oomph. How's that looking? Yeah, I love the dots too. In fact, I'm feeling like I want to do purple dots. So I'm going to get some purple, and I'm going to mix the purple with some pink to get a different colour purple than the bluey purple. I want a hotter purple. So I've got cerise pink and purple, and it will give me a much brighter purple. And I'm going to add some purple dots around the purple areas. Oh, I like that. See, sometimes you just need to have a play. Besides which, it takes away from the bad painting, doesn't it, when there's something else to focus on? How many dots did we do in those pigeons? So many dots. Holy dooly, that was a lot of dots. But it was worth it. My pigeon painting is up on my wall at home, people, by my barbecue. So far we've got the cherry blossom hanging in the bathroom, and now I've got the pigeon painting, and obviously all the rest of the paintings are still here. So I've just added in a few dots really for a bit of Now, that is my painting pretty much completed, but if you are brave, okay, if you are brave, and I got that cheeky smile because this is a make it or break it time, people. But you know what? We're in that time where we can just be a little bit carefree. We've got artwork coming out of our ears. So if it doesn't work, who cares? I do this with another painting, which is a Chanel bottle. I wonder if I've got it here. I have. Hang on. I'll show you it. You might not want to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I have never done it on paper. Well, not that I can remember. Ugh. And you know I say to you, I love a good drip. Well, I really fancy having a bit of drip action going through it. So with this Chanel painting, at the end of the painting, so there it is, the Chanel bottle and some flowers. It's very pretty and very girly, great for hen parties and things like that. Anyway, at the very end of the painting, after it's finished, I add these drips all along, and it's not an exact science, and you might not like it. It's very arty, and it is very uber cool, uber chic, but it might not be your type of thing. But hey, let's do it. So I'm going to show you the process, and if you want to have a go, you can have a go. If you really don't want to have a go, don't, all right? Some people get very precious with their artwork. I don't, because I always have millions of it. Okay, so I'm going to go with purples and blues. So you can see I'm loading up my brush with a whole load of purple. And then you dip it in the water. And you put your brush in the back. And you just roll it across the top. And you let the paint roll down. And it will roll wherever it really wants to roll. There's no exact science. And you just get this really kind of interesting, and you might hate it. And if you do, well, don't do it. But I love it. I think it just adds a bit something else, really. It kind of almost looks sad, you know, like my weeping whale. Okay, now I'm adding in some white to my brush, and I go over it with white. And you should get a second kind of dribble of colour going down through. I can just hear my mum saying, Karen, no, you've ruined it. I can just feel Pam saying that. I don't mind. I quite like it. I like it. I think it kind of looks interesting and sad and different. I love a good drip me. Some would say I am a bit drippy. And then finally, I'm going to add some blue. Just add a couple of little runs of blue. And that's kind of, you know, the colour palette that you had. Sometimes you have to tease it to drip. And some will not get all the way. They'll just drip to the bottom. And that's it. That is my beautiful, now very weeping Spirit of the Ocean. Obviously, I need to sign it because this is a masterpiece, as you all know. There we go. I hope you've had fun. I hope you're enjoying your painting at home. As always, please take a photo for me. Share the love. And like I said, if you're enjoying my art sessions, please keep coming. I know life is getting busier. You can always watch it on the replay. If you think that you know of somebody that could really benefit from a bit of art therapy, I am not an art therapist, but as I say, art is my therapy. Then please I do 15-minute daily doodles. If you're at work, you can stop with your cup of tea and you can just draw on a Post-it note or on the back of an envelope or a cue card or whatever. So you can do that. If you are working in an office, then you could use them as a jump-off point for a meeting. Get all of your colleagues together. If you're still working remotely, then why not do it as a fun opener for a Zoom meeting? I have lots and lots of different classes. They're not all for adults, they're not all for kids. There's something for everyone. There's art hacks in there, like making your own paints using the stuff in your pantry. So if you're new to You Create Art at Home, welcome, and have a good nosy round. You'll see that there is some crazy videos because I only learned, hey, my first Facebook Live video was only 7 weeks ago, people, 8 weeks ago. So all of this I'm learning on the hoof, and here I am today with my double setup, my microphone and my rig. Thank you, David. And I'm still loving it. I'm having a ball, I'm enjoying it. It doesn't even feel like work. So if you're loving it, please, please, please send me some love. And as always, I would love it if you wrote a review for me, because the more reviews I get on Facebook, the nicer Facebook is to me. What does that mean? It means that when I want to advertise my artwork, my art classes, if I want to advertise an art class, the more engagement I get, the more hearts that you send me, the more thumbs up you send me, the more chatter you give me, the cheaper my advertising is, quite frankly. And so it means that I can get out there and reach more people, which is a fantastic idea. So share the love. I'm telling you the golden rules. Who cares? This is all about being inside my little inner circle, and you are very welcome. All right, have a lovely weekend. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.